one between them as the Cardinals beat the Nationals on Friday. They go at it again from Busch Stadium. Time now to get it out to the guys calling the game. It's Kenny Albert and Tom Verducci.
Thank you very much, Kevin. A beautiful Saturday evening in St. Louis as we welcome you to Baseball Night in America. From Busch Stadium, Steven Strasburg getting set to start a game in St. Louis for the first time in his career. He will be opposed by the 23-year-old right-hander Shelby Miller. It's the second of a three-game weekend series between the second place St. Louis Cardinals and the first place Washington Nationals. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Baseball Night in America on Fox. Kenny Albert along with Tom Verducci and Ken Rosenthal. Last night, the quickest game in the major leagues this season. It took 2 hours, 3 minutes, a 1-0 victory for the Cardinals. Matt Adams with a solo home run in his return from the disabled list in the second inning, providing the only run the Cardinals would need. Terrific pitching matchup tonight, Tom. Steven Strasburg of the Nationals looking for his fourth consecutive victory.
And from the moment Steven Strasburg stepped on a big league mound in 2010, we knew he had ace stuff. Now we're seeing an ace pitcher, a guy who knows what to do with his stuff, and you can really see that in his last three starts. The fastball command has been off the charts. Look at these numbers: 1 walk and 27 strikeouts. And how good is his changeup? Well, it's this good. Cardinals manager Mike Matheny has loaded his lineup with 7 right-handed hitters to try to negate the effects of that changeup.
Strasburg, first overall pick in 2009. Shelby Miller also selected in the first round of that draft by the St. Louis Cardinals. Miller coming off his second career complete game shutout.
Yeah, maybe the best game of his career, throwing the ball well. And who isn't these days for the Cardinals? 4 shutouts in their last 5 games. You see Miller likes pitching against the Nationals. The Cardinals have more shutouts at this point of the season than any point in the Cardinals franchise history. So things are going well for this rotation. How about this matchup? 2 right-handers in their 20s. They run it up there in the mid-90s. Strikeout pitchers at the top of their game. Spectacular pitching matchup on a spectacular night in St. Louis.
Should be fun to watch. Strasburg and Miller, Cardinals and Nationals. The defending National League champion Cardinals, second place in the NL Central, look to make it 2 in a row over the Washington Nationals, who have been on fire, 10 wins in their last 14 games. It's coming up next on Fox. As the Cardinals take the field, Shelby Miller getting set to make his 14th start this season. Record of 7-5 in his third year with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Nationals batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live boss. Bernard Span will lead off, followed by Anthony Rendon. Jason Worth bats third. Adam LaRoche in the cleanup spot. Then left fielder Ryan Zimmerman. Shortstop Ian Desmond. Bottom of the order, Danny Espinosa, Jose Lobaton, and the Nationals pitcher Steven Strasburg will bat ninth. Bernard Span steps in to face Shelby Miller. Span 0 for 4 in last night's game. No hits in his last 14 at-bats. Nationals have lost 2 straight after winning 10 of 12 as Span takes a called strike. Ron Drake behind the plate. Alan Porter at first base. The crew chief Joe West at second. And Marty Foster is the third base umpire. An 81-degree evening in St. Louis. As Miller delivers, bounce to the right side. Ellis to Adams. Span retired on 2 pitches. As we check out the St. Louis Cardinals in the field. Around the infield, Adams, Ellis, Peralta, and Carpenter. Holiday in left, Borges in center field, Craig in right. The battery of Miller and Molina.
That's a real good defense behind Miller. Third in the league in defensive efficiency. You can see already just 2 pitches. The MO for Shelby Miller, pound the zone with fastballs.
High and tight to Anthony Rendon, ball 1.
He's a guy you'll see him throw about 75% fastballs. He's a real good curveball, cutter, occasional changeup, but it's all about fastball for Shelby Miller.
Now 2-0. Two balls, 1 strike with Jason Worth waiting on deck. Two and two.
Let's see if he goes to something off speed here. So far pouring in 6 fastballs.
Two from Miller. Base hit it to right field off the bat of Rendon. So the Nationals with a 1-out base runner here in the top of the first inning. After the first 16 Nationals were retired by Lance Lynn last night. Tom Howard, Lincoln Motor Company, keys to the game.
Well, score 4 for Washington. When they get 4 runs this year, they're 30-2. And when Strasburg in his career gets 4, the Nationals are 42-4. Now for St. Louis, it's getting leadoff runners on against Steven Strasburg. As good as Strasburg is, he's more vulnerable out of the stretch than he is out of the windup.
One away, Rendon takes his lead off first as Jason Worth steps in, swings at the first pitch from Miller, and fouls it off to the right side. 0-1.
Now I like that by Jason Worth. Normally a very patient hitter. He'll be among the league leaders in pitches seen per plate appearance every year. But when a pitcher has just pumped in 7 straight heaters, try to ambush one right there. Just missed it.
The 0-1 to Worth, who had one of the 2 Nationals hits last night. Only 5 hits in the game. 3 for the Cardinals, including the Matt Adams solo shot in the second inning. Here's Adam LaRoche waiting on deck. Worth behind on the count, 0-2.
Finally something with a little wrinkle right there. Looked like the cutter from Shelby Miller. Worth talked about the honor of hitting in the 3-hole in the lineup, something he does not take lightly. He's a guy who has started major league games literally in every spot in the batting order, 1 through 9. And traditionally, you would say the best hitter on a team is in that 3-hole. Well, guess what? That's where he belongs. And yes, he is the best hitter on this team.
Okay. Rendon, the runner on first. The 0-2 is blocked by Molina. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miller missing high, now 2-2.
Kind of a typical Jason Worth at bat. You get ahead of him 0-2, and he's found a way now to get himself into an even count. Not likely to get Jason Worth out by going outside of the strike zone, even with 2 strikes.
2-2 to Worth. Base hit right field past the diving Ellis. Rendon on his way to third. In at second is Worth. Rendon coming home. Nationals lead 1-0.
That's just terrific base running by Anthony Rendon. Starts with a nice piece of hitting, 2-strike hitting. See him let that ball travel deep. Here's a ground ball just past the second baseman that scores a runner from first base. Anthony Rendon knows he's got third. Watch, he's not satisfied there. He gets the sign, and there he finds another gear.
An RBI double for Jason Worth, his 32nd run batted in of the season. So the Nationals, who were shut out last night, come up with a run in the first inning on 2 base hits. Still only 1 out.
Yeah.
First pitch to Adam LaRoche, in for a called strike.
Now here's where once you read the outfield as a third base coach down here, then you're saying once he's down on the ground, that's going to buy you more time. It's an easier send with 2 outs, an aggressive one with 1.
Fouled off to the left side. 0-2 on LaRoche. Bob Henley, the Nationals' third base coach, waving Rendon around. He scores the first run of the afternoon. Oh, 2 to LaRoche, a called strike 3. First strikeout for Shelby Miller, 2 away.
Yeah, it's one of the most patient hitters in the league right here, Adam LaRoche. This time Miller gets the call. LaRoche thinking that ball was away. Watch Molina with the soft hands, gets the umpire a good look at it. Nice framing job by Molina.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman, 0 for 3 in last night's game, as Worth steals third.
Yeah, Shelby Miller never really gave him a look, never stopped his feet. It's a case where the runner, watch him start moving and just keep going. Saw some pitches at second base with LaRoche up there. Got a sense of the timing. There's not a check back by Miller. Heads up play.
Fourth steal of the season for Worth. He is 4 for 4. Zimmerman starting in left field for the 12th time this season and 12th time in his 10-year career. Bounce to the shortstop, Peralta. Zimmerman is retired. Nationals take the lead as Worth doubles home Rendon. One 0 Nationals here in St. Louis. Cardinals batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live boss. Matt Carpenter leads off, followed by Mark Ellis. Matt Holliday bats third, then Alan Craig in the cleanup spot. Catcher Yadier Molina will hit fifth, followed by last night's hero at the plate, Matt Adams. Bottom of the order, Johnny Peralta, Peter Borges, and the pitcher, Shelby Miller. As the Cardinals get set to face the 25-year-old right-hander Stephen Strasburg, his fourth career start against the Cardinals, first here at Busch Stadium.
And one thing I'm really curious to see is if the Cardinals attack Strasburg early in the count, because you really want to stay away from that wipeout changeup and the breaking ball. Try to attack fastballs early in the count. One team that gave him trouble early in the season, Miami Marlins, young hitters, very aggressive hitters. And I think an aggressive approach against Strasburg has tended to work better. Still not easy against a guy with some of the best stuff in Major League Baseball.
Strasburg's 90th career start, record of 35-23, 6-4 this season. Matt Carpenter leads off for the Cardinals and takes ball one. Carpenter 0 for 3 in last night's game. This is 309th plate appearance of the season, most in the National League. He's the only Cardinal to appear in every game.
Actually, one of the few hitters who's more patient than Adam LaRoche. Loves to take pitches, does not mind hitting with 2 strikes at all.
1-1 from Strasburg, missing away. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Strasburg has won his last 3 starts. Nationals have scored a total of 26 runs for Strasburg in those starts. He's second in the National League in strikeouts with 108, one behind Johnny Cueto.
This is where he likes to go to the changeup.
Two to Carpenter. Espinosa to first. 1 away. As we check out the Washington Nationals defensively around the infield. LaRoche, Espinosa, Desmond, and Rendon. Zimmerman in left, Span in center, Worth in right. The battery of Strasburg and Lobaton.
A lot of those errors early in the season. Been much better lately, especially at second base. Espinosa as good as you will see at that position.
Nationals have not committed an error over their last 7 games. One away, here's Mark Ellis. Takes strike one. Ellis, 3 hits in 5 career at-bats against Stephen Strasburg. We talked to Cardinals manager Mike Matheny, and he said that prior history is one of the reasons why Ellis is in the lineup today.
Well, that we also talked about trying to diffuse the effects of that great changeup to left-handed hitters. 7 righties in the lineup.
Ellis pops this one up, and the catch is made by the first baseman LaRoche to retire Ellis. Now 2 away. Strasburg, first overall pick by the Nationals back in 2009. Shelby Miller, today's starting pitcher for St. Louis, selected 18 spots later by the Cardinals.
Shelby Miller was all set to go to Texas A&M. So the Cardinals gave him a $2.9 million bonus. If he had gone to A&M, he would have been on the same staff as Michael Wacha, on the same staff now with the Cardinals.
Nationals also had the 10th overall pick in 2009. They drafted Drew Storen. With the 25th pick, the Angels selected a fellow by the name of Mike Trout in 2009.
A lot of teams missed on Mike Trout.
Off the bat of Matt Holliday into right. Catch is made by Worth. Strasburg retires the Cardinals in order in the bottom of the first inning on 10 pitches. Game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Ian Desmond leading off for the Nationals. He leads Washington with 13 home runs this season. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game will raise $14,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org.
This is a tough park to add to that total, by the way.
Sure is.
Fewest home runs in the National League right here in this ballpark. Last night, Matt Adams hit number 35 at Busch Stadium this year. Nationals Park, second fewest, 40 home runs.
Cardinals as a team have 37 home runs on the season, fewest in the National League. Nationals infielders have hit more than the entire Cardinals team. Nationals infielders have 41 home runs.
What's going on in this state, by the way?
Royals did hit 2 today.
Show me the home runs. Yeah. It's time, Kenny. Get out your ballots.
I like the technique using a key instead of a pencil.
I'm a pencil guy.
Would you go with the short pencil that you would usually be given when you bought the program or the scorecard, or would you go with the longer pencil?
Nah, the short ones are cool. Kind of used to score in golf too. They used to give you a little pencil when you bought that 25-cent scorecard. 25 cents. Come on.
Desmond down on strikes.
Yeah, good command right here. Nice run on that pitch, but got it past Desmond. Looked like a two-seamer up and in. Yep, two seams. That is a tough pitch for a right-handed hitter, especially a little bit above the hands inside.
One away. Here's Danny Espinosa, 0 for 3 in last night's game. You know, the key might be too big.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If the computer can read them, or we get into a hanging Chad situation, we've got to bring in some volunteers to count those.
That's right.
I hear there's a place in Florida where they do that.
Yes.
Now look at Miller. He's ready to go. Danny Espinosa's at-bats are played on his time, not the pitcher's time.
1-1. Miller missing away. Now 2 balls, 1 strike.
He'll take a little stroll here. He's just putting his game plan together for each pitch. I asked him about that, and he said, hey, listen, it takes me that long to get focused for each pitch. I said, don't the umpires say something to you? I said, yeah. He didn't seem to be bothered. You know, they actually have a stat, Kenny, a stat for everything. The amount of time between pitches. And Danny Espinosa is third, taking the most time between pitches, an average of 27.5 seconds.
Wow.
Troy Tulowitzki is number 1, Hanley Ramirez number 2.
And with Espinosa in the game last night, it still took only 2 hours, 3 minutes. Quickest game in the major leagues this season.
That's how good the pitchers were last night. But you can see he's just going to take his time. He's not taking any extra swings. There's no Velcro adjustments. This is basically just getting his mind ready for each pitch.
Payoff pitch from Miller. Espinosa down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Shelby Miller. Now it's time for Pepsi's Real Big Things You Need to Know. 1st round draft pick, as we mentioned, back in 2009. He threw 3 consecutive no-hitters during his junior year of high school. And Joe Kelly was his best man when he was married last November. Real Big Things brought to you by Pepsi. Making a real big summer with 3 new flavors of Pepsi made with real sugar.
Well, congratulations on the marriage, but I'm blown away by 3 consecutive no-hitters. High school baseball, I get it, but 3 in a row?
You might be blown away by finding out where Jose Lobaton got married. Lobaton pops it up to the left side of the infield. He was married at home plate at Tropicana Field when he was a member of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Like Don Zimmer in Elmira, New York.
1-2-3 second for Miller. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company. This is where a new conversation begins. Bottom of the second inning on a beautiful Saturday evening in St. Louis, as Alan Craig will lead off for the Cardinals, who were retired in order on 10 pitches by Stephen Strasburg in the first inning. Craig, Molina, and Adams here in the second. Craig leading the Cardinals with 33 runs batted in. 0 for 9 lifetime against Strasburg. Swings at the first pitch, deep right field. Worth back on the warning track, makes the catch to retire Craig.
That's what we talked about, being aggressive early in counts. Better chance against the Strasburg fastball and getting it to 2 strike counts on the off-speed pitches. Good approach. Strasburg gets the out. Now here's a guy who loves first pitches as much as anybody in the big leagues.
Yadier Molina stays away from the first pitch, takes ball 1. Fastball in for a strike. 1-1 on Molina.
Let's take a look at Stevens' release point. First inning to the second inning. Good overhand. Kind of a high 3/4 delivery. The key is he's going to throw all of his pitches out of that same release point.
Espinosa over to LaRoche to retire Molina. Now 2 away as we head downstairs to Ken Rosenthal. Ken, Strasburg has been outstanding. He's won each of his last 3 starts.
It's interesting, Kenny. His average fastball this season, 94.2 miles per hour. That's down about a mile per hour from last season, about 3.5 miles per hour from his first season in 2010. I talked to pitching coach Steve McCatty. He said that Strasburg is making greater use of his curveball and his changeup, actually throwing his changeup more than he ever has. He broke out a slider at the start of the season, guys, but didn't like it all that much. Ditched it before April was over.
No, Kenny's right about that changeup. Hitters came in hitting 130 off the changeup this year with no extra base hits.
Matt Adams rips 1 foul.
You know, earlier we looked at his release point. When he gets in trouble, he opens up too early. Strasburg's kind of guy. Look at those 2 landing points. This is where his foot's going to land, and then that right foot is going to come all the way over here once he releases the ball. What does that mean? He spins away from home plate. He gets in trouble when that front shoulder opens up too early, and the ball will flatten out on him. Kind of the pros and the cons of that type of delivery. I believe he's got natural pronation with that fade towards the first base side. It allows that changeup to sink down and away to left-handers. But again, if he's a little too quick with that front shoulder and it opens up, then it tends to get up in the zone and flatten out. So far, so good today.
0-2 on Adams, who hit a solo homer in the second inning last night, accounting for the only run of the game on Father's Day weekend. His dad was here at Busch Stadium visiting from Pennsylvania. It came at Adams' first at bat, second pitch since coming off the disabled list.
Pretty nice early Father's Day gift.
Oh-2 from Strasburg, called strike 3. So Strasburg retires the Cardinals in order on 10 pitches, as he did in the first. We'll return to St. Louis after a word from your local Fox station. Celebrate the new season with Chevrolet. Share your excitement using #TheNew. Steven Strasburg leading off for the Nationals here in the top of the third inning. Washington with a 1-0 lead. Strasburg 2 hits in 25 at-bats this season.
Respect right there for a good hitting pitcher. 1-1 breaking ball.
Now the 2-1 from Miller, missing high, ball 3.
And the last 2 games here in St. Louis have had some flashbacks to 1968. Not just the times of the game, but the aggressiveness of the pitchers. Working off the fastballs, working quickly, and that's just something you don't want to do if you're Shelby Miller. Leadoff walk to the pitcher. Shelby Miller's got a little bit of Steven Strasburg in his delivery, in that you'll see the elbow go up before the ball comes up. Watch the elbow here pick up the baseball right there. You see the elbow is about shoulder height. The difference, I believe, he's got a much longer arm swing before that elbow picks the ball up. And that's something the Nationals have been working with Strasburg on, is lengthening the arm swing, getting the ball farther away from the body. And that's what Shelby Miller does well.
4th time Strasburg has walked this season. Here's Denard Span, grounded out to the second baseman. Ellis, his first time up. Again, it is Ellis who begins the 4-6-3 double play.
Well, that's just taking a giant eraser to a bad mistake. You walk the leadoff batter, the pitcher, and immediately get the ground ball double play.
So quickly 2 away as Rendon steps in. Single to right in the first inning. Came around to score the game's first and to this point only run. He was doubled in by Jason Worth.
That's old school right there. I know that pitch was out of the zone, but Anthony Rendon making sure he takes that first pitch. Let your pitcher get back in the dugout, relax a little bit. You don't want to give Shelby Miller a quick inning right here. He takes another one right there for the 1-1 count. He is a good-looking young hitter. Reminds me a lot of David Wright of the New York Mets. He's just real good with the wrists and a very natural stroke hitting the ball the other way.
Out of Rice University, 1st round pick, 6th overall back in 2011. The 1-2 from Miller, and Rendon strikes out to end the inning. 4th strikeout for Miller. When we come back, we will chat with tomorrow's National starter, right-hander Doug Fister. Bottom of the third inning in St. Louis. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci, Ken Rosenthal. Nationals lead the Cardinals 1-0 as Johnny Peralta leads off against Steven Strasburg. Bottom of the order for the Cardinals. Peralta, Borges, and then the pitcher Miller. Peralta 0 for 2 in last night's game. He leads the Cardinals with 10 home runs. The 0-1 from Strasburg. Now 1-1 as we welcome in tomorrow's Washington Nationals starter, Doug Fister, record of 5-1. Doug, your first season in Washington, start of the year on the DL, did not make your first start until May 9th, but you've been outstanding, winning your last 5 starts. How do you feel things have gone so far?
You know, like you say, it was a little bit of a rough start, not being able to pitch until a month into the season. But overall, things are going well. I spent the time trying to figure out and become a teammate to each one of these guys, and finding out just kind of what kind of guys we have here has been a fun adventure so far. We've got a bunch of great guys that we've got a good family atmosphere and genuine guys. So that's been something that I'm truly blessed to be a part of this team so far. So looking forward to what we got next.
Well, Doug, for you, it's not just a matter of changing teams this year, but changing leagues. Of course, that means you get a chance to hit. I'm looking at the stats here. You do have 1 hit, 4 sacrifice bunts, but in all seriousness, Doug, how hard has it been to transition and try to make yourself, at least something of a threat offensively?
You know, it's something I haven't done in a while, so I'm definitely a little rusty with that. It's something we've been spending a lot of time in the cages with Hen and Tarasco and those guys, and trying to work on these things. But most importantly, wanted to be able to get the bunts down. That's first and foremost at any point in time. And so we've definitely taken it serious. It's something that when you're number 9 in a lineup, you are part of it, and you have a job to do. It's something you take serious.
Well, how long has it been since you swung a bat with any regularity?
Other than interleague, intermittently for the last couple of years, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years.
Go get them.
So, yeah, trying to step back in a box. It's come a little faster than it used to, and a lot better pitching. So, still trying to get my feet wet and get a rhythm in the box, but overall, not feeling too bad.
Johnny Peralta down on strikes. Second strikeout for Steven Strasburg. He's retired the first 7 Cardinals. Here's Peter Borges. Borges 0 for his last 7. We're chatting with Doug Fister, record of 5-1 for the Washington Nationals, scheduled to start tomorrow's series finale. And Doug, how about becoming a member of this staff? Jordan Zimmerman, second straight complete game last night, and of course Steven Strasburg on the mound today.
Like I said, I've been truly blessed with the teams that I've been able to come to, and especially this one. We've got a great pitching staff to be a part of, whether it's guys that are throwing hard like Strauss and Zim, or guys that I kind of consider, we pitch similar like Tanner. It's things like that. Looking forward to having Gio back soon, and everybody's got their pitching style, but the biggest thing is everybody's out here. We're constantly talking to each other and kind of trying to stay on the same page with one another and try and help each other out. If we see something, whether you're tipping or questioning a pitch that they got hit or something, just kind of what teammates do.
Well, not only are you helping each other out, how about the level of competition among you? I'm sure you probably went through this with that great Tigers staff as well. If somebody goes out and throws a good game, how much of a part of that is you get the ball next, you want to do better?
Friendly competition is always good, but it's more the fact that it's some motivation, some team camaraderie, and you get that momentum, and you just want to keep it going. So when it comes your time to get out there and work, it's one of those things that you really got to bear down and make every pitch count.
Full count now. Peter Borges at the plate. Shelby Miller waiting on deck. Doug, you've never faced the St. Louis Cardinals. Have you gotten a good scouting report over the last 2 days?
Last couple days, been able to watch these guys throw. Watching Strauss tonight and Zim last night, see how they attack things. But a lot of it's going to come down to staying with strengths and really just using the defense to let them work.
Payoff pitch to Borges, left field. Ryan Zimmerman moving to his right, makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, this is a couple of starts ago. We're looking at this stretch at first base by Doug Fister. That hurts looking at it, Doug. How in the world did you do this?
It kind of reverts back to the old college days of playing first base and being able to really just stay athletic. And it's something that I don't think about. I just kind of react when I'm out there and trying to make sure we get that out. Unfortunately, we didn't get that one. But, you know, just playing the game hard is kind of how I go out there, the old Bulldog mentality. And it's something that, you know, I take pride in. I take pride in the defense and trying to get every out we can. We can't waste any time.
Well, you must also have some kind of stretching program to do that.
Do not try that at home, folks.
No.
Well, Doug, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. Best of luck tomorrow. And we take one more look here at your stretch at first base. Again, continued success.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Doug Fister, record of 5-1 over his first 7 starts for the Washington Nationals. Shelby Miller at the plate with 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning here at Busch Stadium.
What a start for Doug Fister. 3 walks and 31 strikeouts so far.
Miller with the Cardinals' first base hit into the right field corner. So a little payback after he walked Strasburg, leading off the top half of the inning. Miller, the first Cardinals base runner.
Actually, not a bad swing right there. 95-mile-an-hour heater away. Look at the head right down on the baseball.
Fourth hit of the season for Shelby Miller, Tom. It's his 3rd double.
A big spot right here. Talked about the patience of Matt Carpenter. There are times with runners in scoring position where he will try to ambush a pitcher early in a count. A little bit of a different hitter in these kind of situations that he is leading off, or in situations with nobody on base.
By the way, Strasburg and Miller faced one another back on April 20th in Washington, and Miller had an RBI double off Strasburg in that game.
Yeah, you see Strasburg there, went to the changeup first pitch. He was thinking along with me. Not much of a change in that release point right there.
Miller takes his lead off second. Matt Carpenter rounded out to the second baseman, Espinosa, his first time up.
Well, that's such a good pitch right there. I see more and more of the umpires calling these pitches. Not sure if this is at the knee, right below the knee. Probably a little below the knee, but it seems this year, Kenny, I've seen that call pitched more and more as a strike. Good hard fastball at 94 where the hitter thinks maybe it's going to lose a plane, but it really holds its plane, where a hitter will give up thinking it's going to go below the knees, and it holds the plane for a strike.
Now 1-2 on Carpenter. Nationals with a 1-0 lead. Jason Worth doubled in Anthony Rendon back in the first inning. One-two from Strasburg. Fouled off back behind third.
Even Strasburg's got some big feet, but I want you to pay attention to where they are. This right foot on in front of the rubber. You see that? That's what's so unusual about that. Most major league pitchers, if not all, pitch that way. Well, up until this year, Strasburg didn't pitch that way. He actually had his foot half on the rubber and half on the dirt in front of the rubber. I mean, that's something if you go by a little league field, you may see some kids doing. Coaches are saying, hey, push off the rubber, and the kid will get his spikes on top of the rubber. Strasburg pitched that way until this year. It's highly unusual.
How difficult is it to make the adjustment?
Well, it's not difficult. It's actually much easier because when you're straddling the rubber half on, half off, as soon as your left foot or left leg, let's say, your lead leg comes up, you're off balance. You're going to drift a little forward. If your foot's flat on the ground and not on the rubber, you stay balanced over the rubber, which is what a pitcher wants to do, gather and go. So it actually creates better balance in the delivery.
Up the middle, base hit center field off the bat of Carpenter. Miller around third. The throw to the plate is not in time. Now the throw to second. Out at second is Carpenter, but he drives in a run. Miller scores. 25th run batted in for Matt Carpenter. So with 3 innings in the books here at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals have tied the game at 1. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Jersey Boys from Warner Brothers Pictures in theaters June 20th and by T-Mobile.
This is good team defense by the Nationals. Lobaton knows he's got no shot at Miller. So he didn't bother even looking at Miller. Get the ball down to second base for the easy out at second base. And give Denard Span credit because that throw was low enough so that Carpenter thought perhaps LaRoche was going to cut that ball. Watch the throw by Span. I actually thought LaRoche should have cut this ball. I didn't think they had a shot at Miller with 2 outs on a ground ball single. But that's good team defense. The throw by the center fielder, play by the catcher, tag by Desmond to complete it.
So the Cardinals have tied the game at 1, and now Jason Worth will lead off against Miller here in the top of the 4th inning. Worth drove in the Nationals run with a first inning double. Both pitchers have allowed a run on 2 hits over the first 3 innings. Miller with the first hit off Strasburg.
Yeah, you're going to put their offensive numbers up there.
That's right. Strasburg, the leadoff walk back in the 3rd. Second baseman Ellis makes the play in shallow right to retire Jason Worth. 1 away.
And in my book, that's a big out. I'll tell you why. A lot of times these National League pitchers, they get on base, they run hard like that, and you're out in the mound right away after the last out was made on the same play. And I know it sounds crazy. I know you're only running 180 feet from second base. But I've seen a lot of pitchers get out there and either physically or mentally not on point for that first hitter. Good job by Miller.
There's Adam LaRoche, called out on strikes his first time up. Cardinals employing the shift against LaRoche.
Of course, they've got their third baseman over on the right side. That's nothing new to Matt Carpenter, second baseman last year for the Cardinals. See, the outfield is pretty much straight away, though. LaRoche's not a dead pull hitter. The spray charts will tell you that he does not hit ground balls the other way. But he will, especially leaving the yard, go out to the big part of the field, gap to gap.
Payoff pitch from Miller. Second walk issued by Shelby Miller. Nationals have a one-out base runner. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, grounded out to the shortstop Peralta. His first time up. First pitch, he fouls it back. Nationals now 13-7 with Zimmerman in the starting lineup. 2 games under 500 without Zimmerman.
Well, I mean, he's yet to really catch fire at the plate in the 12 games since he's been back off the DL. There's certainly a presence there. It certainly gives a deeper look to the lineup. I'm still waiting for him to really be challenged in left field in terms of making a throw. I've seen him make some nice catches.
He's done a nice job in left field in the absence of Bryce Harper, who's played in only 22 games this season. Manager Matt Williams told us before the game, Nationals hope to have Harper back prior to the All-Star break in early July.
Hey, talked about next week. Bryce is going to start doing some baseball activities. And then what? That's the question for the Washington Nationals. And by that I mean, what happens to this guy, Ryan Zimmerman? Most likely going back to third base. And then we'll have to see what that arm looks like making the throws from third. And actually, at least in pregame workouts, throwing in the few balls he's had in left field, looks fine throwing the ball in the outfield, but it's a completely different throwing motion. By that I mean, Kenny, watch him play, take strike 3 right there. Watch him play long toss before games, which is the outfielder's normal kind of long arm swing to throw a baseball. It looks great. Obviously, at third base, you don't have the time to have the long arm swing. And in the past, that's where the throwing problems came in.
With 2 away, here's Ian Desmond. Ken Rosenthal, what have you learned about the Zimmerman situation?
Well, it's intriguing to say the least, Kenny. And yes, the plan is to move him back to third, but I'm not convinced that's best for Zimmerman or best for the team. He seems to have moved on. If you read his quotes, he says the move is refreshing. He says it's a new chapter in his career. He almost seems liberated. I talked to a scout who saw him on his minor league assignment before he joined the Nationals, and he said it looked like Zimmerman had the weight of the world off his shoulders. The problem is the Nationals have really no other place to go. GM Mike Rizzo told me yesterday they are not looking to move either center fielder Denard Span or first baseman Adam LaRoche.
Yeah, that is a quandary. I think you wonder if he does go back to third, does the weight of the world come back on those shoulders? Obviously, they have an option if they wanted to put Bryce Harper in center field, but Denard Span is a veteran, established center fielder, an excellent defender. Not much talk about Zimmerman at first base because you have a Gold Glove quality first baseman there. Your cleanup hitter, Adam LaRoche.
Long run for Craig in the right field corner, no play. 1-2 on Ian Desmond.
You get an idea of the athleticism he's had out in the outfield. I mean, these are quality plays for a guy who really had no experience out there. He was on the disabled list with the thumb injury. He was shagging fly balls, reading balls off the bat. That's pretty much learning a new position on the fly on the major league level. Once again, I want to see him throw. Hasn't really been challenged yet. But there's no doubt he looks comfortable out there.
0 games in the outfield over his first 9 major league seasons.
I think it's one of those situations where they will really worry about that when they have to, when Bryce Harper comes back.
Strikeout number 6 for Shelby Miller. Middle of the 4th, tied at 1. Never stop improving pitcher profile.
Yeah, you see the decrease in velocity, and you would think, well, I guess he's not as good. Well, he's much better. Better fastball command. You really don't see the 97, 98s. He still has that if he really wants to reach back and find it. So far today, he's topped out at 95, and actually Shelby Miller turned that around for a double to the opposite field.
That's right. Lowe's never stop improving. Strasburg facing Mark Ellis leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th in a 1-1 game. Ellis popped out to the first baseman LaRoche, his first time up. Ellis, Holiday, and Craig for the Cardinals. Each team with a run on 2 base hits following the Cardinals' 1-0 win in the series opener last night.
I think he's become a much better pitcher. Everything works off the better fastball command. Hasn't really shown the outstanding changeup so far today. Better breaking ball than changeup.
Charging is the shortstop, Desmond. Ellis retired, 1 away. Matt Holliday fly to right his first time up. The 6-time All-Star. 0 for his last 7.
Yeah, I know earlier we talked about this ballpark not yielding home runs. A lot of people asking where are the home runs in this lineup. To me, it's just extra base hits. And it starts with this guy. When you talk about decrease in slugging percentage for this Cardinals team. Cardinals team slugging percentage 359. That's the lowest franchise since 1991. I asked Mike Matheny about that with Matt Holliday, and he said, you know what, the exit speed of the ball off his bat is still outstanding.
He hit 22 home runs last season, has only 4 this year, 2 in 111 at bats here at home.
You know, he's a guy, according to Mike Matheny, he's hitting the ball off the bat. It's coming off above 105 miles an hour. Very few hitters get up there consistently. Giancarlo Stanton is one. And according to Mike Matheny, generally you hit that ball that hard, 80% of the time you're going to get hits. He just thinks it has not translated into not just hits, but getting underneath the ball, catching the ball underneath it just enough to drive it out of the park. So he thinks the signs are there, even though the numbers don't show the power being there. Keeping an eye on the release point here from Strasburg. Every pitching coach watches to see if that release point will drop a little bit as you get deeper into the game. So far, so good.
Strikeout number 3 for Stephen Strasburg. 2 away here in the Cardinals' 4th. Strasburg made his major league debut in June of 2010, just over 4 years ago. Underwent Tommy John surgery on September 3rd of that year. And then, of course, shut down in early September when the Nationals went to the postseason in 2012. And over the last 2 seasons, a record of 14 and 13.
There's that breaking ball. He's a better pitcher now. I don't think there's any doubt about this. This run he's on, last 4 starts now, 30 strikeouts and 1 walk. And again, you want to jump me early on the fastball, I'll drop in that breaking ball. And when he's going right, that changeup, I talked about it as a 2-strike pitch. And there it is right there. That's also a pitch he will throw in the zone and get called strikes. Look at the movement on this pitch. A lot of right-handed pitchers don't trust their changeup enough to throw it to right-handed hitters. One reason why Mike Matheny loaded his lineup with right-handed hitters, but that doesn't matter to Stephen Strasburg. That pitch is that good.
The 0-2 to Craig, and he is down on strikes. 4th strikeout, 2nd in a row for Strasburg. Tied at 1 through 4 here in St. Louis. the 5th inning. Each team with a run on 2 hits. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci, Ken Rosenthal. Cardinals and Nationals deadlocked at 1. Bottom of the order for Washington. Danny Espinosa leads off against Shelby Miller. Espinosa struck out his first time up. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the righty Miller.
All right, you got your cold beverage, got your popcorn. Lean back, relax. This could take a while.
The 0-1 ripped into the glove of the first baseman, Adams. Time for a game break. To the studio, Kevin Burkhardt.
That's the most exciting play in baseball, right? Inside the park, home run.
What an ending. Rockies over the Giants. Giants first place in the National League West. Jose Lobaton popped to the shortstop Peralta his first time up. Right as we had mentioned the fact that he was married back on July 2nd, 2012 at home plate at Tropicana Field in St. Pete. Up the middle, base hit center field. So a 1-out base runner for the Nationals here in the 5th.
I guess you save money on the tuxedo rental. Just wear your uniform, right?
Excellent point.
Now you see Carpenter drawn in way in at third base, trying to take that bunt away. He swings the bat well, but this is a bunt situation, even with 1 out.
Strasburg walked his first time up. Carpenter creeping in. Strasburg lays down the bunt. Molina with the throw to second. Back to first, not in time.
Wow, I thought Molina took a chance here. This was not an obvious out at second base. He knows what he's doing. Keeps that runner out of scoring position. Conservative thing is just take the out. 2 outs, runner on second base, get the hitter, get back in the dugout. He's got this one measured up. Helps to have an arm like that.
Now 2 away. Here's Denard Span. Grounded out in the first. Bounced into a double play in the third. First pitch from Miller. In for a called strike, 0-1. Span struggling at the plate now. 0 for his last 16. Fastball missing high, 1-1.
A lot of similarities here in the footwork with Strasburg and Miller. Miller probably a little bit longer of a stride. That foot come down. The way he finishes, that right side will come all the way over the left leg, similar to Strasburg. Actually, look at the landing points that they make on the mound. Very similar.
Peralta in shallow left. Span is retired. Middle of the 5th here in St. Louis. Nationals, Cardinals tied at 1. on Fox is sponsored by Firestone, reminding you that whenever you drive a Firestone. The MLB Fan Cave is back. Some of baseball's biggest stars are scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFanCave.com. Follow MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. Ballpark Village here in St. Louis. Steven Strasburg starting for the first time in his career at Busch Stadium. Nationals and Cardinals tied at 1. Yadier Molina will lead off for the Cardinals against Strasburg. Our statistician extraordinaire Marty Aronoff points out there have been 26 half innings played in this series so far. Only 10 hits, just 3 runs.
I'm telling you, I'm having flashbacks to 1968.
That was a good year.
I mean, it seems like there's a shutout. I mean, routinely now. We talked about the Cardinals. They've been churning them out. How about this stat? I love this one. Since Thursday, when the World Cup began, got 12 shutouts in baseball, just 2 in the World Cup.
You would expect a reversal of those numbers.
Yes, we're seeing World Cup scores. Last night it was 1-0 at Busch Stadium.
No extra time needed.
I never got the concept of the extra time thing in soccer or football.
Well, for the Cardinals, their last 4 wins and 6 of their last 7 wins have come via shutout. They have 14 in all, 1 less than the Cardinals recorded all of last season. And you mentioned 1968, Cardinals record 30 shutouts that season.
Of course, that was the year of the 1.12 ERA by Bob Gibson. The most shutouts through 67 games since the 1969 Cubs. There's Bob Gibson.
One, 2 to Molina. Diving play made by Rendon. And Molina is retired.
Fantastic play by Rendon, playing well off the line. A couple of steps and a dive. He's got plenty of time with Molina running. Look at the reaction. Give credit to defensive positioning right there as well. There's a change-up, but still playing him well off the line in the right place at the right time.
National shift with Matt Adams at the plate. Adams called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning. 0-1.
Now again, we've seen him quote-unquote beat the ship this year with hits to left field. But really, you're not going to see him hit a ground ball in the 3rd base area.
On the ground to the right side, Adams is retired. The Game Changer Profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. Adams coming into the game today, .376 batting average against right-handed pitchers, highest in all of baseball, and terrific career numbers against the Nationals, including the solo home run in his return from the disabled list last night.
Well, some of that missing power we talked about could be there in the form of Matt Adams.
Johnny Peralta with 2 away. After Adams grounded out to the shortstop Desmond, who was playing on the opposite side of second base.
So you score that as 6-3?
We still do.
Very deceiving. Who knew for 100 years we had guys positioned in the wrong spots? Now we know.
It was a 6-3, but the play was made from the 4th spot. Mark that with your little pencil. Into the right field corner. Extra bases for Johnny Peralta. He is in with a stand-up double.
Now, this is a guy who normally does not hit the ball the other way. He loves to hook pitches. Even on the outside of the plate, he likes to pull to the left field. But in this case, very nice piece of hitting going the other way.
Team leading 17th two-base hit of the season for Peralta. 2 of the 3 Cardinals hits in this game have been doubles. Miller with the first. And now with the pitcher Miller on deck, the Nationals will intentionally walk Peter Borges with first base open.
Just to finish that point on Peralta, that's only his 6th hit to the opposite field this year. 48 up the middle or to left field.
Borges heads down to first. Cardinals with first and second, 2 away. We take you back to April 20th in Washington. Shelby Miller with a 2-out RBI double off Steven Strasburg in the 4th inning. And then tonight in the 3rd inning, Miller doubles off Strasburg yet again.
So you're telling me that Matt Williams is not playing the percentages right here? Base open, 2 outs. Pitcher coming up, that's automatic, right? He passed the 8-hitter. Strange number. Pitchers are hitting .259 this year off of Steven Strasburg.
Overall, the opposing batting average against Strasburg coming into the game .257. So it is higher if you're an opposing pitcher.
Doesn't make sense. You know, one thing we talked about at the top about getting runners on him against Strasburg, he's much better out of the windup than he is out of the stretch. True this year, it's been true throughout his career. This year with the bases empty, hitters hit .229. Runners on base, they hit .299.
Miller with 10 career base hits and 80 at bats. Cardinals strand 2 in the inning. Through 5 here in St. Louis. We remain deadlocked at 1. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Bayer Back and Body, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball, and by Burger King. Right now, try the new extra long BBQ cheeseburger. Nationals Cardinals tied at 1. We head to the 6th. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Minneapolis, Tuesday, July 15th. On Fox, coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. One pitch, one away. Here in the top of the 6th inning as Rendon is retired.
Not a bad idea. Trying to get something going. First batter of the inning. Surprise Matt Carpenter with a bunt. Just caught it, pushed it too hard.
One away. Here's Jason Worth. Doubled in the Nationals run back in the 1st inning. Popped to 2nd in the 4th. First pitch, fouls it back, 0-1. Nationals with a record of 35-31, tied with the Braves atop the National League East in Matt Williams' first season as manager. Nationals have won 10 of their last 14 games, which means a little more sleep for Matt during this recent stretch.
Yeah, we asked him about, first year as a manager, what's really caught your attention, what's different. Doesn't get as much sleep. The losses stick with you.
Peralta, 2 out. He said, I don't take the losses very well. If we win, we're supposed to. You want to win every day. He said, as a player, you have some semblance of control. Not as much as manager.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Of course, as a player, you say, go get him tomorrow, right? As a manager, obviously, you can't control the game as much. Can't get in the batter's box, can't get in the mound. And a lot more responsibility and decisions to think about when the head hits the pillow.
Adam LaRoche, center field, Borges. A 5-pitch 6th inning for Shelby Miller. All right, thanks, Kevin. 4th straight win for the Pirates. Congratulations to Jimmy Rollins.
All-time hit leader in Philadelphia Phillies history, passing Mike Schmidt today.
Top of the order for the Cardinals, Matt Carpenter leading off against Steven Strasburg, who was allowed a run on 3 base hits. Carpenter drove in the Cardinals' run back in the 3rd inning.
That was a 2-out hit that Carpenter had, a 2-2 count. I got to give you, this is my favorite thing about Matt Carpenter. 0-2 counts, we all understand that you don't want to give 0-2 on anybody. It's 1-1 right here, but 0-2 counts. National League hitters hit 157. Carpenter hits 289 in his career in those counts. That's crazy.
Wow. Well, with a 1-1 count, he flies out to Zimmerman in left for out number 1.
Let's go back to Strasburg's debut. He's a late loader. By that I mean the ball should be, when his foot lands, up in the top position at the highest point, and it's not. It's up by his shoulder. Now look at him today. Look where the ball is now. It's up by his ear. Look at the difference now, the height of the ball. Back in his debut, about shoulder height. Now it's about up at the ear. Not perfect. It would still rather be at the very top. Say, why is that? Well, that puts a lot more stress on the shoulder and the arm. When that foot lands, the ball should be loaded at its highest point, ready to fire. Strasburg came up 2010 with that mechanical flaw, very similar to Mark Pryor. And a lot of people thought maybe perhaps that was one reason for the breakdown, as we see with Tommy John injuries. They happen to guys with great mechanics. Here's the 6th inning, holding his mechanics really well. But you can see that the adjustment that he made with the shots we showed you today, when the ball is in that loaded position, it's higher.
Ground rule double for Mark Ellis. Into the gap in left center. 4th hit for the Cardinals, the 3rd double.
Yeah, score 1 from Mike Matheny. You'd figure load the lefties in there, have Colton Wong at second base. No, he liked the history of Ellis on Strasburg, like the right-handers against Strasburg, who hit for a higher average than do lefties. There's your payoff right there.
So Ellis now 4 for 8 lifetime against Strasburg. He extends his hitting streak to 5 games.
Just to finish that point, the delivery of Strasburg, it's a very difficult adjustment to make.
On the ground to the shortstop, Desmond, throw to 3rd. And Ellis is retired.
Yeah, not a good decision by Ellis right there. Should be an easy read for him. He's just being a little overly aggressive. See, that ball's in front of him. That's a Cardinal rule. Ball in front of you, you cannot cross over. Unless the ball is hit really slow where you know you can beat the ball to the base. But even stopping to have that ball pass, you can realize right there, he knew that's a mistake.
So now 2 away. Holiday the runner on first as Alan Craig steps in. Craig 0 for 2 tonight. Now 0 for 11 lifetime against Strasburg.
I promise now I will finish the thought on the mechanics of Strasburg.
It's about time.
Talking to the pitching coach, Steve McCatty, he said they have not made that essentially a point of emphasis. But to help him out, they have talked about the longer arm swing we talked about earlier that we saw from Shelby Miller. When the ball comes out of the glove, get it farther away from the body, and that will help the timing mechanism. And he's certainly done that. He's improved. There's no question about that. His mechanics are better than they were in 2010.
Strasburg today making his 90th Major League start. His 15th this season. He has won his last 3. Up the middle, base hit. Stopping at second is Holiday. Cardinals have runners on first and second with 2 outs, and that is the first career hit for Craig off Strasburg as he lines it right back up the middle after starting his career 0 for 11 against Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, that's scary. We talked about the way he finishes with that right leg coming over the left leg. Really doesn't put you in the position to defend yourself. Just whizzed by the ear. Now once again the Cardinals get another shot with runners in scoring position, something they were unbelievably good at last year. Very different this year. There's the numbers. We're going to talk about runners in scoring position last year. They've been keeping these numbers since 1974. And last year's Cardinal team, the best ever since the record keeping on that stat. This season, not so good.
Molina fouls it off to the right side, 0-2. Holiday and Craig, the base runners. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning in a 1-1 game. Friend of yours, Tom?
It is bring your dog to the park today. I think that's a dog.
Pitch gets away from Lobaton. Both runners advance.
Like the changeup just gets through the 5-hole right here at Lobaton. Yeah, he came up a little early. Actually started with the glove down. And almost like an infielder coming up a little too early. A little bit of daylight and the ball found it.
Both runners advance on the pass ball. Holiday now on third. Craig takes his lead off second. Adams on deck. Should Molina reach? A 1-2 from Strasburg. Nice play by Rendon. And the Cardinals will strand 2 in the 6th. We will return to St. Louis after these messages from your local Fox station. Game summary brought to you by Moto G from Motorola, with the Nationals and Cardinals tied at 1. Both teams have combined for a 135 batting average in this series, only 3 runs. We talked about the starting pitchers in our open, and they have lived up to what we expected.
I'm telling you, 1968, Bobby Goldsboro, Otis Redding, the Beatles. I think you know something about 68, don't you?
I told you earlier it was a terrific year.
And why would that be?
It was the first baseball season I witnessed. Don't remember much about it.
Year 1.
Base hit for Ryan Zimmerman. So the Nationals have the leadoff man on for the second time in this game, as Zimmerman singles to right center.
Yeah, Desmond's had trouble today catching up to the fastball over the hands of Shelby Miller. Let's see how he attacks him in this spot.
Desmond has struck out twice. As we head downstairs to Ken Rosenthal. Ken, Shelby Miller coming off his second career complete game shutout in his last start Saturday in Toronto.
Yes, Kenny, a 3-hit shutout in Toronto against the Blue Jays. He told me yesterday that it could be a huge turning point in his career. His previous start against Kansas City had been nearly as good. 6 shutout innings, then he kind of gave up some runs in the 7th. But the difference in the Toronto start, Miller said, is that he maintained his focus and his edge throughout 9 innings. Now, Adam Wainwright told him, Shelby, remember everything about this start. What you liked, what you didn't like, the routine that you followed. And Shelby said he had eaten steak and potatoes the night before, a little bit of a departure from his normal carb meal. He ate steak and potatoes again last night.
And we talked to Mike Matheny about Shelby Miller. He said he's been studying more video this year between starts. Right center off the bat of Desmond. One away.
Yeah, well, I think what he's doing here, Shelby Miller, it's kind of like getting the graduate degree now as a major league pitcher. We know he's got major league stuff. What he's learning, and I think Kenny made an important point about that, keeping the focus throughout the game and keeping routines on the days leading up to that start. Not necessarily steak and potatoes. It's more just having a routine so that when you get in the game, you feel like you've got everything covered. And that is a lesson and an approach that he has audited from Adam Wainwright.
We saw Wainwright a moment ago in the Cardinals dugout. He threw prior to the game. Cardinals tell us he will skip his start on Monday, and they hope for a return next Saturday, 1 week from today, for Adam Wainwright, who is tied for the National League lead in wins with 9.
Yeah, well, he made sure yesterday he was trying to get Cardinal fans off the cliff when they heard his elbow's inflamed, and he's a guy who's had Tommy John surgery already. Of course, all that we've seen this year with pitchers undergoing Tommy John surgery, he said, no, it's a completely different area. MRI was taken, nothing structurally wrong with the ligament at all. A little bit of tendonitis in the back of the elbow. They're going to back him off. So he is as positive as you can be for a pitcher who is not going to make his next start.
One and one now on Espinosa, who is 0 for 2 today. 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Zimmerman the runner on first. Nationals and Cardinals tied at 1. We mentioned this recent stretch, Tom, for the Nationals, winning 10 of their last 14. They've outscored their opponents during that stretch 72-30.
Don't forget, Nationals went into San Francisco against a very good Giants team and took 3 out of 4.
They started this trip by winning 2 out of 3 in San Diego. 5-3 on the trip that will end here in St. Louis tomorrow. Nationals will head home for 6. 2 with the Astros, 4 with the Braves.
Big pitch right here from Miller. Fastball count to a very good fastball hitter.
With the veteran left-hander Randy Choate up in the Cardinals pen. 3-1 to Espinosa. Off the fist, fouls it back, full count.
Yeah, good hack at that. Good job by Miller, just getting it up enough on Espinosa. Not a cookie. That ball is just slightly above the hands, elevated it just enough. Espinosa just missed catching up to it. Now, this is trouble for Danny Espinosa. 2 straight counts this year. He's hitting 110. We're back in with the fastball. And you can see how much he missed location by. Lena wanted that ball in. Ball ran outside. A lot of his strikeouts today, Kenny, on the fastballs up in the zone.
Espinosa down on strikes. 7th strikeout for Miller. His first since the 4th inning.
Again, set up inside. The ball runs away. That has been his go-to pitch. We talked about Shelby Miller. He'll throw fastballs more than 70% of the time. Virtually all of his strikeouts today have been on the fastball.
With 2 away, here's Lobatone. Singled his last time up. 1 for 2. Zimmerman, the runner on first, now 2 out. Strasburg on deck. (2-0) from Miller, in for strike 1.
Just in case you're wondering, nobody throwing in the Nationals bullpen. This is Steven Strasburg's game. 86 pitches, plenty left in the tank.
Tyler Clippard stretching.
But not throwing if Lobaton gets on base. Still think Matt Williams lets his ace take the at-bat. That was almost like a 2-strike swing by Lobaton. 3-1 pitch, got handcuffed.
Zimmerman goes, payoff pitch is fouled back.
That's been his go-to pitch with 2 strikes. The Nationals know it's coming, that fastball. And that one up at 94. And this is working on your graduate degree. Can you execute a pitch now deep into the game?
Miller missing high, so the Nationals now have 2 on with 2 out, and Strasburg stepping to the plate.
Well, listen, Strasburg handles the bat well. You wouldn't know it by that average. Matt Williams is telling you my best chance to win this game is with Steven Strasburg on the mound.
Strasburg has thrown 86 pitches over the first 6 innings. Takes ball 1. Randy Choate joined by Jason Mott in the Cardinals pen. 1-1, top of the 7th inning, 2 out. Nationals with 2 base runners as Strasburg fouls it off to the right side. Now 1-1.
We talked to Doug Fister about this in the National League. You can help yourself as a pitcher. Those great Braves teams with Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz, all those guys could handle the bat, whether it meant getting a bunt down or getting a hit, to allow themselves to stay in a game so you're in position to get a win. Not going to catch that one, Kenny. Upstairs, got to believe Miller's going to go back up there.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Miller missing high. The count is full.
He kind of stretches back after that pitch. Those last 2 pitches, first time I thought you could see some fatigue there. Good for Shelby Miller right there. Take a deep breath. Take your time on this pitch. Probably your last pitch of the game.
Playoff pitch to Strasburg, and he fouls it off.
Unless he fouls it off. This is where he is a young pitcher. Really slow the game down. Take a deep breath. Be your own pitching coach right here.
Pitch number 100 from Miller. Another foul.
Excuse me, but a good fight by Strasburg in this at-bat.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Miller missing inside. Strasburg walks for the 2nd time today. The Nationals have loaded the bases. Here comes Mike Matheny.
Just ran out of gas. Saw him get outside of his mechanics those last 3-4 pitches.
So Miller walks the number 8 and 9 hitters in the inning. Bases loaded. Miller's night is over.
Well, we talked about Shelby Miller's fastball. That was his go-to pitch today. All of his strikeouts coming on the fastball, whether swinging or looking, especially up in the zone. Only problem for Shelby Miller, when he needed one more here in the 7th inning and the 8-9 hitters, he didn't have another one.
Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great walk-offs are waiting at foxsports.com/Budweiser. Grab some buds. So here's 38-year-old left-hander Randy Choate. Comes in with the bases loaded. And Denard Span bounces out to the second baseman Ellis to end the inning. So the Nationals strand 3. It is 7th inning stretch time in St. Louis, tied at 1. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. And by the new Samsung Galaxy S5. The next big thing is here. Bottom of the 7th inning in St. Louis. We look ahead to next Saturday. It's a full night of MLB action, beginning with Baseball Night in America on Fox. And then the Rangers take on Mike Trout of the Angels on Fox Sports 1. Our MLB doubleheader begins next Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox and continues at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Steven Strasburg, 83 pitches over the first 6. Will face Matt Adams leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Adams 0 for 2 today, after accounting for the only run in last night's game with a second inning home run.
You know, Kenny, the more I think about it, the more I like the decision by Matt Williams to keep the ball in Strasburg's hands. Not send up a left-handed pinch hitter, which probably gets Randy Choate into the game earlier. But I would tell you that 2 years ago, perhaps even last year, Strasburg doesn't get that at bat. And he's just not a guy that the Nationals have pushed deep into games. He's pitched beyond the 6th inning only 31 times in his 90 starts. Of course, they had a lot of governors on him coming out of the Tommy John surgery with innings limits, pitch count limits. All those governors are off. This is what an ace is. Leave him in the game, tie game, take the at-bat, go back out there, take us to the 8th inning.
You saw Jerry Blevins up in the Nats pen as Adams sends this one to deep right field. It's gone. Matt Adams off the disabled list, homers in back-to-back games for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, another Father's Day present for his dad. He was at the ballpark last night. The home runs have been hard to come by for the Cardinals. Timely one last night, and a timely one tonight, both by Matt Adams.
His 5th home run of the season, all 5 here at Busch Stadium. Now Peralta into right field. The catch is made by Worth for out number 1.
Well, we talked about the way he's just been destroying right-handed pitching. Strasburg here, the command starts to go a little bit. See, that's as much as he's missed the strike zone. Even that one, the swing and the miss on the changeup. Again, a fastball away, missed badly. And that's a ball down in the zone. You say, okay, that pitch is down. But that's right in the nitro zone for Matt Adams. Loves the ball down, as a lot of left-handed hitters do. But the first 3 misses in that at bat, as badly as we've seen Steven miss this game.
Borges lays down the bunt, barehanded by Rendon, and he throws out Borges for out number 2.
Boy, he has played a spectacular game at third base, Rendon. Very quick read on that bunt. Had to be anticipating the option that once the hand goes up the bat, look how close he is. Most third basemen are going to field this ball on the run. He has time actually to straighten up and throw to first base and get a very fast runner because he anticipated that play.
With 2 away, John Jay will pinch hit for Randy Choate. Jay 3-for-11 as a pinch hitter this season.
Pat Neshek has really become a setup man, the setup man for Mike Matheny in that bullpen.
Off the glove of LaRoche. Jay safe at first.
Nice effort here by LaRoche, just off the end of the glove.
It's a base hit for John Jay.
That's going to do it for Steven Strasburg. Matt Williams showing the confidence, and I thought rightly so, to have his ace stay in the game. Did not work out.
Here comes Jerry Blevins from the Nationals pen. Strasburg leaves here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 2-1. Jerry Blevins makes his 31st appearance of the season out of the Nationals pen on in relief of Strasburg, who leaves trailing 2-1. John Jay, the runner, on first with 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Matt Carpenter. Carpenter drove in the first Cardinals run back in the 3rd inning. Fastball in for a strike, 0-1.
Kenny, I'm sure you remember the point I made up about National League pitchers when they run the bases and have to go back out in the mound. That first batter they face, right? It's a big one. We complimented Shelby Miller on getting the big out after getting a run scoring trip from second base to home. Well, Steven Strasburg didn't work out so well. On the bases last inning, first batter, home run.
And at second is John Jay.
That was a very odd play because Lobaton basically ran in to Matt Carpenter trying to throw this ball to second base. Well, that's a completely illegal play. Carpenter, Matt Williams is going to come out and talk to the umpires about this. Home plate umpire Rob Drake. Rob Drake signaled right away, no harm, no foul. Because that was purely incidental. There's no intent here. He's got a right to be in the batter's box. It's almost like a basketball player establishing position and taking the charge. Offensive foul.
Pass ball charged to Lobaton. By the way, back in the 6th inning, what was originally scored a pass ball was changed to a wild pitch.
Thought that was a pass ball, but okay. Here, maybe perhaps slightly a little bit lower release point. The thing that caught my attention, those first few pitches again to Adams, losing the ball to his arm side. We really hadn't seen that from Strasburg today until that at bat. And again, we talked about Shelby Miller working on his graduate degree, pitching late into games. Still applies to Steven Strasburg. Doesn't have a lot of history pitching after the 6th inning. He's only seen the 8th inning 6 times in his career.
Now 2-1 on Carpenter. How about that? Adams with 3 of the Cardinals' 10 base hits in this series. Drew Storen in the Washington pen. A 2-1 from Blevins, now 3-1.
Carpenter is not going to chase. He thinks this pitch is the ball. It's a borderline pitch. Swings and pitches outside of the zone less than any National League hitter. So if you're going to get him out, you better throw a strike.
Payoff pitch to Carpenter. Blevins missing inside, ball 4. Cardinals now have 2 on with 2 out.
It puts a lot of pressure on a pitcher. Blevins' job, come in and get the left-hander. But again, you need to throw 3 strikes to Matt Carpenter. Trying to get someone to be anxious with 2 strikes is the way to go for a lot of pitchers. Not so against Matt Carpenter.
So that will be all for Jerry Blevins. Here comes Drew Storen. #1 live streaming sports service is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.com for details. Drew Storen, third pitcher of the inning for the Washington Nationals, will face Mark Ellis with runners on first and second. 2 outs. 1 run in. And the Cardinals leading the Nationals 2-1. And Ellis gets hit in the back with Storen's first pitch. Cardinals have loaded the bases.
That one just completely got away from Storen. Fastball slider guy, and this one just never had a chance. No chance for Ellis to get out of the way. Just a tracer.
Bases loaded for Matt Holliday. 5 career grand slams. Fastball missing inside. Ball 1. Holliday 1 for 6 lifetime against Storen.
Saw Lobaton set up inside the book on Holliday, pounding in with fastballs. That may open up the outside part of the plate, but Matt Holliday has tremendous plate coverage. Lead that slider up away. He will definitely hit it the other way. Right now, Drew Storen needs to throw a fastball for a strike.
The 2-0 from Storen. Missing high, ball 3. Jay on third. Carpenter, the runner on second. Ellis at first. Nowhere to put Matt Holliday. Strike 1.
Like he was taking all the way, figuring whatever he sees 3-0, he'll still see it 3-1. Not a bad take there when Storen missed so badly his first 4 pitches out of the bullpen.
Coming home is Jay as Storen walks Holliday. The Cardinals lead is now 3-1.
In case you're wondering, there is nobody behind Drew Storen in the Nationals bullpen. So whatever is going on in terms of not finding his proper release point, he better solve it in a hurry. And how about this history? Cardinals 16-2 against the Nats at home since 2008. Of course, if you go back to that fantastic division series in 2012, Nationals are 6-21 here at Busch Stadium, including that postseason.
Xavier Cedeno up in the Nationals pen. For Cardinal fans, tune in tomorrow for the final game of this series on Fox Sports Midwest. Coverage starts at 12:30 Central.
I think if you're Alan Craig right here, you just keyhole as if it's a 2-0, 3-1 count. Drew Storen may be trying just to get a cookie here to get something to get him ahead on the count. I wouldn't concede it if I were Alan Craig.
Matt Adams led off the inning with a solo home run. Strasburg then retired Peralta and Borges. Then an infield single for pinch hitter John Jay off the glove of a diving Adam LaRoche, followed by a walk, a hit batsman, and another walk. The 1-0 from Storen to Craig. Catching the outside corner, now 1-1. Yadier Molina waiting on deck should Craig reach. Alan Craig, the 8th batter of the inning for the St. Louis Cardinals. A 1-1 from Storen, a slow roller. No play for Rendon. Another run scores. The Cardinals now lead 4-1.
Well, we saw Peter Borges try to bunt. Here we have an accidental bunt. Couldn't have dropped this ball any better if he rolled it. Rendon obviously playing back at third base. Alan Craig up, 2 outs. Put it in your pocket.
Three runs in the inning on a home run, 2 infield hits, 2 walks, and a hit batsman.
The old saying is a bloop and a blast. Blast came first. Since then, nothing's left the infield in terms of the damage.
Bases loaded for Molina. LaRoche in foul territory. And the inning finally comes to an end. Cardinals score 3. Matt Adams, the hero last night, takes Jordan Zimmerman deep in the 2nd inning. He does it again tonight in the 7th off Steven Strasburg. 4-1 Cardinals. With MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit MLB.com today. John Jay remains in the game in left field, replacing Matt Holliday. Pat Neshek, the third Cardinals pitcher, facing Anthony Rendon, who is behind in the count, 0-2.
And Neshek really emerged as the eighth inning option for Mike Matheny. Why not? Hitters hitting 149 against him. Kind of a right-handed version of Randy Choate. A little bit of a lower release point. A lot of deception, sinker, slider. One difference, he'll occasionally flip in a changeup. Almost like an old-fashioned quick pitch here. Very simple. And the batter's trying to find where that ball's coming from. If you don't have velocity, use some deception and movement. He's got both.
Now 2-2 on Rendon. Shelby Miller went 6 2/3. Randy Choate threw one pitch for the Cardinals. Came on with the bases loaded. He is in line for the win. As Rendon flies out to John Jay in left field. Matt Adams, the hero last night. Another home run tonight to break open a tie game. His father is here once again today and is with Ken Rosenthal.
All right, Jamie. Matt hits a home run last night. He hits a home run tonight. Obvious question. What would you like for Father's Day?
Father's Day would be a home run again tomorrow, but I just want him to feel good in the zone. I mean, coming back up from the minor leagues for a rehab assignment. I mean, he said last night after the home run, I mean, you got to swing back, so hopefully he keeps on a tear. So. All
right, so you're from Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. You're here this weekend, but where is your wife, Lisa?
She's home. Watching our dog and watching my daughter's dog, and she went out to Pittsburgh for Mother's Day, and I stayed home. So she told me to come out here for Father's Day. So, and I brought my buddy Joe Matsko. I mean, it's a guy's trip, but I mean, we enjoy watching baseball. So
now, last question. So many of these players on the field, their dads were instrumental in them playing baseball. How much work did you do with Matt growing up?
From 2 years old all the way up to now, you know, and I'll never stop. So, and a lot of credit goes to my wife. I mean, she played out in the backyard when I was at work with him. I mean, we traveled all around. He played in travel leagues. I mean, but now, I mean, it was a tough road through minor leagues. I mean, it's a tough haul. I mean, but all I can do is tell all the kids out there, work hard. Your chance, when you get the chance, make it happen.
Jamie, happy Father's Day.
Okay, thank you.
Kenny, back to you.
It's hard to believe they're related.
A little bit of resemblance, huh?
Just a bit.
What just incredible feeling, I'm sure, for both the father and the son. Matt being a 23rd round draft pick. Definitely earned his way here.
Out of Slippery Rock University. Adam LaRoche, whose dad pitched in the major leagues, was a two-time All-Star. Flies out to Peter Borges in center field. Middle of the eighth, Matt Adams, the hero once again for the St. Louis Cardinals. They lead 4-1. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Moto G from Motorola and by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball. Here he is, Matt Adams. Ken Rosenthal spoke with his dad moments ago. A home run last night in the second inning, accounting for the only run of the game in his first at bat off the disabled list. Another home run tonight off Steven Strasburg in a 1-1 game to give the Cardinals the lead in the seventh inning. Now Adams will face Xavier Cedeno, making his second appearance for the Nationals this season. Called up yesterday from AAA, fourth Washington pitcher of the night.
Just think about how good Jordan Zimmerman and Steven Strasburg threw the ball these last two nights. Perhaps just two mistakes. Matt Adams hit them both out of the ballpark. Change up last night, fastball tonight.
Adams pops it up. One away. Our King play of the day brought to you by Burger King. Matt Adams last night off Jordan Zimmerman. And tonight off Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, Matt Williams talked to us about sleep doesn't come as easy when you're a manager as opposed to a player. These guys will sleep well tonight. But I had no problem with that decision. Steven Strasburg has been on a roll. He's your ace pitcher. You see the ground ball to Rendon. Low pitch count. You give him the at-bat to end the sixth inning. He actually got a walk. But he'll answer the questions after the game about leaving Strasburg in to take the at-bat. And the first batter he faces, Matt Adams, unties the game.
You mentioned the performance by Zimmerman last night. An 8-inning complete game through only 76 pitches. First pitcher in Nationals history. This is their 10th season. First Nationals pitcher with back-to-back complete games.
I mean, last night was amazing. I think he drove to the ballpark and left the engine on. He was in a hurry. And he truly did only make the one mistake. It wasn't that bad of a pitch, a changeup up.
Three runs in the seventh for the Cardinals tonight. Looking ahead, Nationals will have Zimmerman, Desmond, and Espinosa due up in the ninth. Now 3-1 on Borges.
Former closer Jason Mott, current closer Trevor Rosenthal.
Rendon, who's been spectacular at third for the Nationals tonight. A 1-2-3-8 for Cedeno. We head to the ninth. 4-1 St. Louis. Moments happen every night in baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 85th All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 15th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Trevor Rosenthal, 18 saves on the season, facing Ryan Zimmerman here at the top of the ninth inning. Cardinals with a 4-1 lead.
You saw the two closers up. It's managing by statistics. Everybody does it. Saves in order. So Rosenthal's in the game. If the Cardinals had scored another run, the save opportunity would have gone away, and Mott would have pitched the ninth.
The Nationals with only one run on 6 hits over the last 2 nights here at Busch Stadium. Zimmerman draws a leadoff walk. Tremendous job by our entire crew here in St. Louis tonight, led by producer Pete Majeska, director Bill Webb, associate director Aaron Stoikoff, broadcast associate Matt Shapiro, technical director Paul Harvath, tech manager Clyde Taylor, Marty Aronoff crunching the numbers along with Chris Muskoff and Kimball Bergman. Ian Desmond takes ball 1.
Well, this is reminiscent of Drew Storen coming into the game. Rosenthal just trying to find that right release point. Hasn't found it yet.
Desmond 0 for 3 today. 1-1.
Took a little something off that one. Just babied it up there at 95 instead of the usual 97, 98. Have to gear up for that high 90s fastball, and then he executes that changeup 10, 11 miles an hour slower. Not much you can do.
The 1-2.
There it is.
Desmond down on strikes. 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning.
That's just unfair. Really, it's not just the speed of that pitch. That was perfectly executed. The downward movement out of the zone looked like a fastball for about 57 feet. In the last 3, it disappeared.
Danny Espinosa 0 for 3. He has struck out twice.
A little bit surprised that they would hold the runner on at first right here with Espinosa up. I'd prefer to have the first baseman play off his hip pocket. Give myself a little more range, defend the field, not the runner with a 3-run lead. Left-handed hitter up. Rosenthal is throwing it up there high octane. You don't expect somebody to pull it, but this is a real good fastball hitter. We've already seen him line one to first base today.
2-1 from Rosenthal. Foul back to the screen. Now 2-2. The 2-2 to Espinosa.
someone who's had trouble on 2-strike counts, that was a terrific job fouling off a nasty pitch at 97 on the hands. Get himself to another pitch. Quality at bat right here by Danny Espinosa. Once again, you still have to gear up for the 98. See if Rosenthal goes back to the changeup.
Adams steps on first. Cardinals win 4-1. .252 pitches in the game. Randy choked through one, and he will pick up the victory.
Does he get to ice down after the game? It was a very big pitch, though. Came in a jam. One pitch. 2 runners on base to Denard Span. One pitch, but a very important pitch.
So the Cardinals win their second straight over the Nationals. It is the second one-pitch win in Major League Baseball this season. Daniel Webb of the White Sox back in mid-April. So Matt Adams, the hero once again, his second home run of the series. Cardinals win it 4-1. We'll return to St. Louis right after these messages.